So if we have have 2 or 3 drivers, it would be, let's go up here to what we defined as this here. Okay, so if it's at 10 hours per driver, so how would we fix this? 10 hours per driver would be divided by the, okay, so if the question, okay, so let's go up here to how we defined, okay, so we called the variable time for hours. No, we're not using hours in this. Okay, we got that part. Okay, so this would be 10 hours divided by operators. Okay, so, and then day is still divided by, okay, let's do this equation first. Okay, so let's go down into that. It'll be on our constant variable, if, so yeah, okay, so it would be, so we'll determine, okay, so we got d time is 10, so it would be d, okay, so it would be d time equals, no, we're not doing hours. Okay, so let's pull up our chalkboard again. Okay, so if it's 10 drivers per hour, so okay, so it's 10 per driver. Okay, so let's write this part down. Okay, so if you have 10 hours per operator, okay, so if you have 10 hours per operator, then we know that, okay, so if we have 10 hours per operator, let's first do this. Okay, so total time, which is, say, 12 divided by 10 for each driver takes 120 hours. It takes okay, so if we divide it by 10, it would take a total of 120 hours. Okay, so let's do that part. Okay, so let's see how we defined time. Okay, so time is hours. Okay, so time, okay, hours is defined as if 12 hours. Okay, that's if it's total hours of trip. Let's go back up to hours. Okay, so that's so time is miles per hour. Okay, so time is miles per hour. Okay, so that doesn't work. Okay, so it's distance in miles. What's the fuel? Miles per gallon. And then roughly calculate days. Okay, we got speed. 50 miles per hour trip. Okay, so maybe we made a mistake here. Okay, so that won't work. So that's how we're doing. So we're going to have to call up another function for that. So, okay, so we're going to change some of this around. Okay, so predicted. We're going to change this to predicted hours on trip. And then we're going to create another function up here. So we're going to do that. We're going to call the function day. Since that's what we're going to calculate for. Okay, so wait a minute. That's what we're calculating for is days. So void days. Okay, so we declared the function as void days. Okay, so down here after time we will declare it as double day. Okay, so down here and add the function. We'll do it before hours. Okay, let's do our chicken lips. Function will say double as they call the double amount. So we're going to ask amount of hours, read, on trip. Okay, so we're going to put a little space, and we're going to close that out. Okay, so it's all. Okay, so it's all closed out. Let's keep it even. Okay, there. Okay, so now. So how do we define time as okay, so we don't need this. Okay, so let's take this variable out. Delete. Okay, so we don't need that. Let's take the function out. Let's say if we're putting in about if the total trip is 1,200 hours, we're putting in 10 hours per driver. It would come up to be 12 hours, and this would equal day. Okay, so that equals day, and we send it, and it'll come out as days. Okay, so that's how we'll do it. Okay, so if that comes out as, so let's go back down here to this function and see if we define days. Okay, so we define days, day. So we can say that if it's two or more, we say that day. We would say that the total amount of days. It's two or more drivers are driving at 10 hours each. Let's see how we do this. Okay, so if we got two or more drivers and we're driving at what we would call time. Okay, so we'll say that. Okay, so time equals time equals upper. We're not going to do days on this because it wouldn't do days. Okay, so time equals operators. The operators time the time. That's how much per operator. And then that'll be that. So if you have 6 operators, you times it by 10, and then that would give you the time. Now we're going to calculate the hours. So the hours is equal to time, which comes out about the amount of hours per driver that the driver will drive. Time is divided by so if we're doing so D time is 10 hours. So if we're doing that would be if we're doing hours, and we know that if we have 10 drivers, if we times it by D time, let's see, let's go back here. Okay. Okay, let's get the calculator. Let's get the chalkboard. Okay, so 10 drivers, if per time, so time and relative to that. So to define, oops, I did this wrong. X. Okay, so if we got that, so then next we're going to define time. So define that's so we're going to define time. So if we do so let's go to the chalkboard. Okay, so if it's 30 hours per driver, then the time would be hours. It would be division. So if you have 30 hours per driver, how many days would it come out to be? Okay, so it takes 30 hours. We know that it takes 30 hours because it's operators times D time, which is 10. So we get 30 hours. So it would be hours. So this comes out D time, which comes out as 30 hours. 30 hours, and hours is the total that you've entered for the trip. So this would, I guess this would be time. This is time per driver. Okay, so that's going to be time per driver because that's what we're solving for. So we learned that this is time per driver. So if we go up here to hours, we send time, so that's time per driver. In days, okay, so D time, which we defined as 10 hours. So if it's 10 hours per operator, that equals time. It takes 30 hours. Okay, so now that would be days. So it takes 30 hours. So it would come out to be days equals, it would come out to be day, because it's around with day. Day would equal time divided by because it's going to be entered hours. Hours. Let's see if we got that correct. No. So so days. Okay, so time is separated by that, and so okay, so let's erase this equation and see what our variables are for greater and over here. So okay, so if you have, okay, so we said that if we have three 10 hours, it would take 30 hours. So if the quoted time hours so that's D time, which we defined as 10 for the constant. So now we're trying, okay, so we've got 3 times 10, which comes out to be 30, which comes out to be 30, and if the trip is 19 hours, since it's 10 hours a day, so if the trip comes out in that, so it would be, so it's and we entered in time, so we defined it would take amount of time for the trip. So let's see what happens here. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do the program on my own, and then I will leave it to you all to look at it for a bit and see where I can fix. Okay.